Okay, for those that are following along at home, we're still working on the Tilly Masterson Mustang from the movie Goldfinger. What we've done so far is, up to this new point here, is that we put in the windshield and we now just installed the interior bucket, holding it like this to kind of leave pressure on it to dry while I'm talking to you. For those that are following along at home at the other video, my last project, which was the Vegas Thunderbird, how awful and ugly the windshield was and the chrome that had to go to it, that is not the case with this Mustang. I mean, it fits perfectly, it's clear, it's decent size. You can't, it's just night and day. So like I said, we got the interior bucket in. You'll notice, you may have noticed from the last video also, that we had to do a change, and that is sun visors. I noticed when I was rewatching the video of the scene that the car came from, that her car had white sun visors as opposed to red sun visors, which, as a Mustang person, being to a lot of shows, worked on a lot of Mustangs throughout my life, I've never seen the combination of a red interior with white sun visor. Doesn't mean it didn't exist, it just means it's something I've never seen before. So when I built the interior without even looking at the movie, you know, knowing that it was a red interior, I just assumed the sun visors were supposed to be red. So it was something new. No worries, easy to fix. And actually, I was kind of worried about fixing it because painting white over red, it would bleed through and it would look horrible. But what I ended up doing, since I was here painting the trim on around the windshield, I just painted the sun visors too. Silver works as a natural blocker. It works really well, so I let that dry after I painted silver and then painted the white, and I had no issues whatsoever. It's just one coat of white and it looks fine. So another thing we're going to be doing, we already did. If you look here, the cut isn't very good, but I'm trying. The original Mustangs, this engine brace was a two-part piece. It wasn't a one-part piece, except on the performance cars. If you had the 289 high performance motor, they gave you the one brace. If you had a Shelby, they gave you the one brace. Regular Mustangs came with a two brace piece. So I cut the brace, cut out the middle of it, and added in just a little extra piece of detail. The other thing we're working on too is I got right here, these little strips here. What they are going to be is for convertibles. Because they didn't have a top, they were designed differently. Convertibles, as some of you may know, because the Mustang is not a full-frame car, they had built into them what's called a torque box, which sat right here. It's an extra box of support that was built into the car and allowed stiffness throughout the body. And what happened over time to these cars, I can speak from experience, is they would rust out and the car would start to sag in the middle. If you ever go to a show or see a convertible Mustang in a parking lot, look at the door frame where the door jamb is actually. If that gap is not an even gap from the top to the bottom, it's squished at the top, okay, that means the torque boxes are going and the car is starting to fold. Okay, so one of the last things you want to do is put your car jack up in the front or the back, you know, leave the other side on the ground and open both doors. Because, I mean, you got the tunnel, which is a support, but really you could fold the car in half depending on how bad the rust is. But anyway, if the gap is too wide at the top, that means the torque box has been replaced, but they didn't do it properly. So they should be an even gap all the way down. Just a little tidbit of information. But another thing they did to stiffen up the Mustang convertibles was they put an extra support brace in here. And that was the form of a bar that went from the engine cowl here. You can see. No, actually, it went from the engine cowl here. One on each side. One would go down to this point, and one would go down to this point. It's just an extra stiffener that would help stiffen up the convertibles. So that's what I'm trying to add into the car. Okay. But those will have to wait until I get the chassis on, because I don't want to make sure I don't interfere with the air cleaner and everything. So that's where we are right now. Hey guys, welcome back to Dirk's Pneumophiles. As you can see here, we're looking at the final for our Tilly Masterson Mustang convertible as seen in the in the movie Goldfinger. Yeah, came out pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with the results. It's just a simple monogram kit. Nothing extra was really done to it. Used Duplicolor paints for the color, the body color. Actually, it's Wimbledon white. Did the red interior like in her car. Interior came out pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with the way. Actually, it's probably one of my better interiors. I think I'm pretty happy with it. Get in there. You can see it's got the rally pack in there. Not that we know if that her car had it or not, but still, it was in the kit, so I decided to put it in. It's pretty cool. We flocked the interior, detailed it out the best we could. Like I said, I think it's pretty cool. You can see down here, we got the flat tires caused by James Bond and the Aston Martin. Wiped out the wheels, flattened them out, destroyed the hubcaps. Yeah, the hubcaps would have come flying off if that was real in the movie, but as you saw in the movie, they stayed on. They're actually hanging on by some wire, I think, but still, I'm alright with them being like this. It's cool, you get the point. You got the damage all along the rocker molding. The second tire been chewed up pretty good. The kit went together pretty well. You know, this kit's been around for a long time. The only problem I have with this particular kit at the time is there's some real pitting in the chrome. I mean, if I was doing like a barn find model, this chrome would be good because it really is kind of pitted and rough. I was just lazy. I didn't feel like cleaning it all up, to be honest with you. But yeah, you can see it pretty well here. It's kind of rough. It makes it look like the cars are like 15 years old or so, which at the time it was not. But again, it's all right. It is what it is. It's the first kit that I've ever done where the door handles were not molded onto the body, where you had to add them on externally, which is pretty cool because it makes it pop so much better than molded in one. So I like that feature, and they weren't hard to put on either. The hardest part is when you cut it from the sprue, trimming it and filing down the excess plastic from where you cut so you didn't have that jagged edge to it, but otherwise it came off pretty well. Again, this chrome inlet here on the side had to be put on also. Of course, the tail lights, the gas cap, this I had painted up and was putting it on with my tweezers, and ping, and ricocheted and fell into the oblivion. Luckily I have extra Mustang kits, so I was able to grab an extra gas cap from. Had a box that's just full of parts, and I had an extra one, so that made that easy. But otherwise, that was kind of a pain in the ass. Scary for a moment too. The tail lights, I'm happy with the tail lights too, because the tail lights were chrome. I used red, Tamiya red clear red in there. And one thing you don't see very often on models is in between the lights, there's also a black painting on there. So we did that too. Usually on the real cars they're kind of faded, but there is black in between the lights. So we did that too. I was happy with the way it came out. I meant to put the radio antenna on this car also, kind of like I did with the Vegas Thunderbird. And the reason I wanted to, because on this car in the movie, it's on the driver's side and not the passenger side, which I thought was really odd. So I really wanted to, and I guess it just slipped my mind, and it was too late to go back and do it again, but I wanted to. The engine bay was done up in the early 60s fashion, so it had the black block with the chrome accoutrements. I also added, as you can see here, we talked about this in the last video, the extra support braces for the convertible. They were put into place. We didn't wire it, but you know, we did that. So that came out. That looks pretty good. Let's see. We turn this upside down. You can see we detailed out the body. You know, added some little weathering. You got the primer from the factory. You got the charcoal for the body, the bottom of the floor pans, the steel, different colors to make it look interesting. So it's not just one big hunk of black plastic. Again, I'm very happy with the way that came out. Now, Tilly's car, we never saw the roof on it, but I had it, so I decided to build it anyway, paint it up just because. Okay, so we can get a look of what the car would look like with its white top. It looks pretty nice, actually, except they never seem to fit very well. There you go. I think it's the closest you're going to get. Looks pretty good, though. Fiddly bits, the mirror, side mirrors a nice touch. I'm glad they have it. Actually, this kit comes with the rally mirror, which is the bullet-shaped one, and it also comes with this one. This is 2 parts, so it's a little tedious to get to, put it together and everything. And after having the incident where I lost this in a tweezer accident, I was very nervous about losing the mirror too, because I just think it looks nice, have that added finished touch to it. So one of the things that are missing from this, though, at this moment is the license plates. You got a license plate on the front and the back. They're European license plates. I have them in my file of what they're supposed to be. And also, there was I think it was like a white GB, Great Britain possibly, sticker on this part of the lower valance. They are missing because right now I don't have a working printer. And it's just not a high priority for me to get it working right at the moment. Though, with my kids going back to school, I probably should. But, you know how that is. Go through ink like crazy. But yeah, that's missing. It's a little disappointing, but it is what it is. So at some point, hopefully I'll get that made up and be able to stick it on. But for now, the fact that it's got the damage makes it stand out as Tilly's car, as opposed to just having license plate that would make, you know, identify that. So anyway, that's it. I'll have some photos at the end of the video so you can take a look at them. And until next time, guys, be strong.